15-Minute Mondays, your kickstart to week high-energy 15-minute episode on the Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Daniel Greg Johnson. Let's get right into it. Hello everybody, welcome back on the Success Blueprint. It is 15-Minute Monday time. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Let's get right into it. What I see recently a lot is people reading another book, going to another masterclass, going to another workshop. And when I look at them and I engage with them and they tell me about their little businesses, I can see it's hiding. It's hiding from doing the actual work. Not because they are lazy, not because they don't want to, but because it gives comfort that you don't have when you perform. So today we talk about the Credential Treadmill when courses replace capability. Let's talk about a modern addiction that looks responsible. Not alcohol, not sugar, not even social media. Courses, certifications, workshops, webinars, masterclasses. Another PDF, another framework, another become unstoppable in 7 days program. Learning feels productive, tribe. It gives you that clean dopamine hit, I'm improving. But here's the uncomfortable truth that I recognize and see on a regular basis. For a lot of people, learning has become a sophisticated form of hiding. Because it's safer to prepare than to perform. It's safer to study than to be judged. And it's safer to collect credentials than to risk real feedback. And this matters in every environment. Business, leadership, entrepreneurship, personal development. Because the world doesn't reward what you know. It rewards what you can do, what you can repeat, and what you can prove. So this episode is about escaping the credential treadmill. We're going to expose why people keep collecting certificates instead of building capability. And I'm giving you a ruthless test to know whether you're growing or just consuming confidence. So what's the problem here? The credential treadmill works like this. You feel uncertain, you buy a course. You feel better temporarily. Then you return to real life and realize you still have to perform. So you buy another course. It's not learning, it's emotional regulation. The problem isn't education. Education is powerful. The problem is when learning becomes a substitute for execution. And modern culture encourages it. We've built a world where it's easier to look capable than to become capable. A certificate feels like proof. A LinkedIn badge feels like progress. And a new framework feels like momentum. But none of that guarantees competence under pressure. So people end up highly trained but still hesitant. They know the language, but their output isn't consistent. They can explain success, but they can't reproduce it. That's not a knowledge gap, that's an identity and action gap. So what's the cost of that treadmill? What are we bleeding here? The credential treadmill has hidden costs. It creates false confidence, not confidence from proof, confidence from information. It disappears when real stakes appear. It delays your real work. You keep telling yourself one more course and I'll be ready. Meanwhile, the market moves and your life stays the same. It increases perfectionism. More knowledge often makes people more afraid because they now see more ways to fail. It builds a student identity. And student identity feels safe. You're always learning, always preparing, never exposed. But capability is built in exposure, in doing, in getting it wrong publicly, in adjusting, in shipping. If you want your life to change, you must leave the classroom and enter the arena. But fear you not, as per usual, I will give you a 5-step toolkit that you can use to turn from credential collection to real capability. This is the actionable reset. Simple, strict, and effective if you follow it and you use it. Step number 1, identify where learning is covering fear. This is the root. The action that you take here, finish this sentence honestly. I keep learning because I'm afraid that if I act, and some example answers here would be, I'll fail and look stupid. People will judge me. I'll realize I'm not that good. I won't be able to deliver. Sounds familiar? For many. Once you name the fear, the treadmill loses its power. You stop calling avoidance growth. Step number 2, convert every course into a single proof output. Do courses, but create output. One course should produce one visible result. The action that you can take here, for any learning you're currently doing, choose one output that can be proven. A published piece of work, a delivered pitch, a built system, a client conversation, a prototype, a measurable habit change. If learning doesn't generate output, it's entertainment, expensive entertainment. This step forces learning to become real. Step number 3, install the 70-30 rule, doing before learning. Most people run a reversed ratio, 70% learning, 30% doing. Flip it around. The action that you take for the next 30 days, 70% time on doing and building, 30% time on learning that supports what you're building. The moment you prioritize output, learning becomes sharper because it has a target. Step number 4, use the arena test. This is for gladiators. This is the ruthless test. The action that you take here, ask yourself, tribe, what am I doing this week that exposes me to real feedback? If the answer is nothing, you're not building capability, you're maintaining comfort. Real capability is built when someone can say no, when reality pushes back, when deadlines hit, when clients respond, when the market reacts. No feedback equals no growth, only fantasy. Step number 5, create a capability ledger, not a credential list. Stop tracking what you've studied, track what you've produced. The action that you take here is simple. Create a ledger with 3 columns. What I built, what I shipped, what result I created. Review it weekly. Confidence will stop being borrowed and start being earned, because confidence without proof is fragile. Proof creates calm. And what's the deeper meaning here? Why does this matter beyond work? The credential treadmill is not just a career issue. It's an identity issue. It reveals a deep belief. I must earn the right to be seen. But capability isn't permission-based. It's practice-based. The people you admire are not always the most qualified. They're the most willing to build in public, fail in public, learn in public, and return stronger. Life rewards the people who can produce value repeatedly, not the people who can explain value beautifully. And when you stop hiding behind learning, something changes inside you. Self-respect rises, clarity rises, momentum returns, and the future opens up. I have a friend, I call him the serial learner, who never launched. I gave him a bit of coaching advice. He constantly kept saying, we're almost ready to start a side business. Every month, another course, another tool, another strategy, and 2 years passed, no launch. The issue wasn't knowledge, it was fear of exposure. And once he committed to 1 public output per week, the business started moving and it grew. Just put it out there. Pull the trigger, learn. Iteration speed, it's important. Another client of mine, I call her the credentialed employee with no influence. Was a professional, had multiple certifications but struggled to get promoted. And she was respected intellectually but not trusted operationally. And when she shifted from collect credentials to solve visible problems, her influence grew fast and results built reputation. We implemented a couple of things, we pulled the trigger more frequently, and we started implementing a rigid receipts culture. If there's no receipts, if it can't be proven, if it doesn't move the needle, forget about it. Another client of mine, a senior leader, was addicted to leadership podcasts. He consumed constantly but avoided the one thing that would have changed everything: direct conflict conversations. So we designed a 30-day experiment, 1 difficult conversation a week. He prepared less, acted more, and within a month, his leadership confidence doubled. Not because he learned more, but because he proved to himself he could do it. He created the evidence, the receipts. That's what capability is, evidence under pressure. Let me give you some short advanced strategies for some extra depth. The no new inputs week. 1 week per quarter, no new courses, no new books, only execution. This exposes whether you've been hiding. The teach it publicly rule. If you truly understand something, teach it in a short post, talk, or session. Teaching reveals gaps instantly. And the 1 skill quarter. Choose 1 high-value skill and build proof around it. Depth beats breadth. And that's how it works. Motion. Move the needle. And as per usual, let me give you your weekly challenge for immediate implementation. So this week, number 1, identify the course or learning you're currently using as comfort. Anything that speaks to that tune. Number 2, choose 1 proof output it must produce within 7 days. Number 3, ship it. And number 4, record it in your capability ledger. 1 output beats 10 certificates, always. no exceptions. And if this episode has hit you, if it resonated with you, if you know someone, share it with that person who always learns but never moves. Because there's many of them out there and they need to hear that. And then subscribe, leave a review, and join me next Monday for another episode of the 15-Minute Monday. That's how we grow the tribe. Copy the episode link, share it on WhatsApp with 3 people, Facebook Messenger, TikTok, wherever you communicate. Create a post about it. Do a shout out on social media, something where you include me. I would be really happy to see you out there, connect to me. And that is how we grow this podcast and why it is so much fun to do. And let's not forget our sponsor, Doc Marty Mushrooms. Building real capability requires sustained focus and calm energy. Doc Marty's blends support cognitive resilience and clarity. Useful when you're shifting from consumption to execution. So head over to docmarty.com. Success Blueprint listeners receive an exclusive to us 20% discount on our first purchase. The discount code is DAN20, DAN20. Head over there, leave some love, and you will not be disappointed. And in closing, guys, you don't need another course to become capable. You need a week of honest output. Stop consuming confidence, start building proof. Because in the end, credentials decorate and capability delivers. And that's it, quick and easy. I hope you have a fantastic week. That's Daniel Craig Johnson, your host on the Success Blueprint. With my promise, I'll be back. Take care, tribe.